it's time once again for Melody Ranch and Gene Autry.
I'm back in the saddle again, out where a friend is a friend, where the longhorn cattle feed on the lowly Jimson weed. I'm back in the saddle again.
That's right, folks. It's another visit with all the gang here at Melody Ranch. There's Pat Buttram, the Cass County Boys, the Gene Autry Blue Jeans, Carl Cotner's Melody Ranch Hardway 6 featuring Alvino Ray, and yours truly, Charlie Lyon. Right now, though, meet the boss man himself, America's favorite cowboy, Gene Autry.
He always sings reggae music to the cattle as he swings back and forward in a saddle on a horse at a syncopated gait, and there's such a funny meter to the roar of his repeater, how they run when they hear the fellows come, cause the western folks all know he's a highfalutin, scootin', shootin' son of a gun from Arizona, ragtime cowboy Joe.
Out in Arizona where the bad men are, the only thing to guide you is an evening star. The roughest, toughest man by far is ragtime cowboy Joe. He got his name from singing to the cows and sheep. Every night they say he sings a herd to sleep in a basso, rich and deep, crooning soft and low.
He always sings ragged music to the cattle as he swings back and forward in a saddle on a horse at a syncopated gait, and there's such a funny meter to the roar of his repeater, how they run when they hear the fellows come, cause the western folks all know he's a highfalutin, scootin', shootin' son of a gun from Arizona, ragtime cowboy. Talk about your cowboy, ragtime cowboy Joe. Well, hello there, everybody, and welcome once again to Melody Ranch. That was great, Cass County Boys. Really wonderful. And now, neighbors, here's one of the bigger current tunes making the musical rounds of the nation these days. Goes as follows. We were waltzing together to a dreamy melody when they called out, change partners, and you waltzed away from me. Now my arms feel so empty as I gaze around the floor, and I'll keep on changing partners till I hold you once more. For one moment, and too soon we had to part. In that wonderful moment, something happened to my heart. So I'll keep changing partners till you're in my arms, and then, oh my darling, I will never change partners again. Well, thank you, good friends. Many, many thanks. And now...
Hey, Mr. Autry, guess what?
What?
I just got a letter from home.
Oh, no. How lucky can you be?
Oh, luckier than my Uncle Cecil, I hope.
And what did Uncle Cecil do now?
Well, sir, seems that him and his wife, Aunt Sulie, they went to the Women's Auxiliary Bird Watchers Masquerade Social. And anyway, right at midnight, Aunt Sulie, she put on one of them scary masks, and she slipped up behind Uncle Cecil, and she yelled, "Boo, I'm the devil."
I'll bet that went over big. What did Uncle Cecil do?
Nothing. He just said right back to her, he said, "Shake, old man, I married your sister."
Say, Uncle Cecil sounds like a real character to me.
Oh, he's that all right, yeah. In fact, Papa always said that Uncle Cecil was the kind of feller that was too smart to take other people's advice and too dumb to think it up for himself.
Sort of middle of the roader, huh?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Incidentally, I don't think I told you about the new hired hand that Papa's got working around the place for him now.
No, I don't think you did. What about him?
Oh, nothing, except that he's so lazy that Papa had to sharpen all the tree stumps around the place. Of course, Mama and Papa, they live way out in the country, you know, and it's kind of hard to get good help out there.
Oh, I see. How far out in the country do you folks live, Patrick?
Oh, way out, Mr. Autry, believe me, way out. In fact, Papa used to say to us kids, he says, "Boys, if the mail don't come in 2 more hours, it must be Sunday."
Brother, I've heard everything now.
Oh, no, you ain't, no. Papa also says that things have been so tough lately that we've only been able to feed the chickens twice a week. There.
Twice a week?
Yeah.
Say, that's getting bad.
Oh, you can say that again. Just last week, one of the poor little undernourished hens, she laid an egg, and it was just an empty shell with a note in it that said, "When I get it, you'll get it."
You know, that's what I call no yoke at all.
May I continue now?
By all means, please do, yes. Be my guest, will you?
Well, thank you. Papa does mention one good piece of news, though.
Oh?
Yeah. Seems my cousin Hastings is finally doing a little bit better in school.
Is that
Yes,
so?
sir.
Hastings, huh?
Yeah, he's doing fine.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, me too. Special since when he first started out, he couldn't even spell cat.
C-A-T?
No. Howsoever, after going to school for just 3 years, would you believe it? Now he can spell cat right every time.
You know, that's what I call real progress.
Oh, real proud of him, all right.
Oh, I'll bet you are. Yes, sir. Papa say anything else?
Oh, not much, except... oh, yeah, he does mention that Aunt Hazel's already been hinting to Uncle Clyde about her this year's Christmas present. Of course, I can understand why, too.
Oh? Why?
Well, last Christmas, she said she wanted something in a fur coat. So Uncle Clyde give her a cat.
Well, at least he's practical.
Oh, him and me both. Which reminds me, would you like to know what I want for Christmas this year?
No, but you might as well tell me now and get it over with.
Okay, listen. All I want for Christmas is my 2 front teeth. My 2 front teeth. My 2 front teeth. Gee, if I could only have my 2 front teeth, then I could wish you Merry Christmas. It seems so long since I could say Sister Susie satin on a thimble. Gosh, oh gee, how happy I'd be if I could only whistle. All I want for Christmas is my 2 front teeth. My 2 front teeth. My 2 front teeth. Gee, if I could only have my 2 front teeth, then I could wish you then I could wish you Merry Christmas.
Ah, Patrick, you really sent me. There's just one thing, though. I'm not quite sure where. Right now, though, here's a personal musical invitation from the Cass County Boys and the Blue Jeans that goes as follows. Kids?
Y'all come, y'all come, y'all come to see us when you can. Y'all come, y'all come, y'all come to see us now and then. When you live in the country country, everybody is your neighbor. On this one thing you can rely.
They all come to see you, and before they leave you, they say, all come see us by and by.
Y'all come,
Y'all come,
y'all come,
y'all come,
y'all come to see us when you can.
y'all come,
Y'all come,
y'all come,
y'all come,
y'all come to see us now and then.
oh, the kinfolks are a-comin', they're comin' by the dozen, eatin' everything from soup to hay.
Hide the rooster! And right after dinner, they ain't looking any thinner. And here's what you'll hear them say.
Y'all come,
Chicken and dumplings.
y'all come,
Ain't that something?
y'all come to see us when you can.
Y'all come.
Cider jug,
Y'all come.
cut a rug,
Y'all come
to see us now and then. Y'all come, y'all come, y'all come.
Hey, that's pretty.
Ah, thank you, kids. That was really great. And now, here once again is a song that sounds almost exactly like our newest Columbia record. Matter of fact, I do believe it is. Here's hoping that you continue liking a voice in the choir from the church in the valley, so sweet and gentle, just sings for me. And though none can hear her in that great congregation, a voice in the choir consoles me tenderly. Our hearts found each other in the church in the valley. I heard her singing, I sinned no more. We made vows together in the church in the valley, to the voice in the choir that I adore. Our years together were golden with love, and we're beholden to him above. Then one day he called her from the church in the valley. Now I am lonely as years pass by, but someday I'll join her, my voice in the choir, in a church in the valley, in the heavenly sky. You know, just the other day in the mail, I got a request for a credit reference on a good friend of mine named Pat Buttram. Well, sir, I must admit I probably perjured myself into a 20-year jail sentence. But nevertheless, I did state that he was good for anything up to and including $2, cash. My point in mentioning all this, though, is simply this. At the bottom of the aforementioned form was a space left blank for other comments, and that's where I chose to make the following observation. Has slight tendency to exaggerate. Furthermore, as proof of this, I offer the following incident. It all began one morning just outside the bunkhouse door when I made the unquestionable mistake of asking Pat to help me brand a few steers that we'd just gotten in.
You know, Mr. Autry, I'm glad you asked me that, because I just happened to remember one time up in the Oregon Territory when I was working on a round up there, and all of a sudden, every other hand on the place come down with chicken pox. So, you know what I did? Well, sir, I'll just tell you what I did. Single-handed, in one day, I wrangled the whole 47,000 head of cattle, branded them, cut out the calves, reset the herd, rode 30 miles into town, and was back before sundown with chicken pox medicine for 200 men. Yes, sir, I'm a riding fool. Well, one time over in Montana, they had to tie a rope around me and drop me down a 10,000-foot gorge with only a compass and a jacket.
See what I mean? But going from things general to things specific, I recall one time in particular when Pat got just slightly more than he bargained for. It seems one Friday morning, I think it was, two crooks nobody had ever seen before broke into the Sagebrush post office and got clean away with over $2,000, combination safe and all. At any rate, I remember I was out at the ranch that day it happened, but not Pat. No, sir, not by a long shot. Instead of working, he was down at the Silver Dollar Cafe making Paul Bunyan look like George Washington at the cherry tree.
Yes, sir, Mac. As soon as I heard about them there varmints stealing the post office safe, it reminded me of one time back in Abilene when I was considered the greatest safecracker in the West.
Oh?
Well, I could open any safe built.
Oh?
Used to call me Light-Fingered Buttram, they did. Howsoever, luckily for everybody concerned, I was on the side of the law. In fact, it got so that rangers, sheriffs, and marshals for miles around would send for me whenever they needed a safe open.
They would?
Yeah, then I'd sandpaper my fingers right down to a nub, and that quick I could figure out any combination. Well, I was so clever,
That's quite a story you're telling, pal.
Oh, hi, mister. And it ain't no story. It's the truth. Well, one time back in Larrabee...
Now, look, me and my partner would like to hear all about it, but let's go some other place. What do you say?
Sure, Jake's right, friend. Why don't you come on out to our place, huh? That way you can tell us the whole yarn without being interrupted.
Well, now, that's right neighborly of you boys. Yes, sir, if you're really interested in safes, I can talk your ear off. Now, you take, for instance, that time in Larrabee I was telling you about. I was working the tumblers on a safe when all of a sudden...
Funny thing, I first got the idea that something was wrong with Pat when a very unusual thing happened out at the ranch that night. Pat didn't show up for dinner. And if there was one thing in this world Pat wouldn't miss, it was a meal. So, when it got to be 7 o'clock, and he still hadn't shown up, I decided to ride into the Silver Dollar and do a little checking.
Hi there, Gene. How you doing?
Howdy, Gene.
Hello, boys. Howdy, Mac.
Well, hiya, Gene. What brings you in here?
Oh, just looking. Haven't seen Pat around, have you?
Why, yeah, he was in a while earlier. But he left with a couple of guys. Must have been close to 3 hours ago.
Who were they, you know?
No, never saw him in my life before. All I know was that Pat was sitting here telling him one of his long-winded stories about how he could open any safe in the country. When all of a sudden, the three of them just up and went out together.
Oh, no.
Oh, what's the matter, Gene?
Think hard, Mac. Did any one of them say anything that might be a hint as to where they were going?
Why, yeah. As a matter of fact, just before they left, Pat come over to the bar and mumbled something about a cabin up on the North River.
Thanks, Mac. Thanks a lot. I'll check with you later. Ten minutes later, just as I hit the outskirts of town, the sky opened up and started to pour. It was a black night. The kind of a night that a cowboy puts all of his faith into the instincts of his horse. What's the matter, champ? What's the matter, boy? I owed my life to Champ that night. Lightning had struck a tree just up the trail ahead, and if he hadn't stopped when he did, well, we'd have been pinned under. But our troubles still weren't over. The trail was extremely narrow at that particular point, which meant if we were going to get to Pat in time, we had to jump the fallen tree trunk. Only from where I sat, it looked like an almost impossible assignment for even Champion. Just the same, though, I decided to at least go back and take a run at it. Okay, champ. This ought to be far enough. Now, look. I don't have to tell you what I'm asking of you. It's all up to you. You ready? Okay, boy. Let's go. Steady, boy. Steady now. Up we go. Nice going, champ. You made it. Now let's go get Pat.
But, fellas, I tell you, I don't really know nothing about opening no safe. Honest, I don't. I was just talking back there at the Silver Dollar.
Hit him again, Ed. Maybe we can refresh his memory.
Oh, no. Oh, please. I was lying then, but I'm telling the truth now. I don't know how to open that safe.
Why, you...
Oh!
No, never mind, Jake. Forget it. He must have just been gassing through his hat.
Yeah, I thought so from the first. Just the same, we still can't let him leave this cabin alive.
Oh, now, please, fellas, I won't tell on you. Honest, I won't.
You can say that again, pal. Okay, go ahead, Ed. Let's get it over with.
Right.
Oh, please, no.
All right, drop them, both of you.
Why,
Drop them, I said.
Mr. Autry, boy, am I glad to see you.
Well, that goes double, Pat. You okay?
Are you kidding? Of course I'm okay. In fact, you could just as well have saved yourself a trip out here, because, frankly, just between us, I was just about to use my judo on these varmints. Yes, sir. Reminds me a lot of one time back in Cheyenne. Seems 30 crooks jumped me at the same time. Or was it 40?
And so, that's why on Pat's application for credit, I just had to write, has slight tendency to exaggerate.
Well, believe me, I know what you mean, Gene. But now, to get back to the story for a second, was the stolen money still in the safe?
It sure was, Uncle Charlie. Matter of fact, the very next day, Sheriff Dillon and I went out and got the safe from that very same cabin on the South River.
Hey, now, wait a minute. Hold it. Did you say the South River?
That's right.
But I distinctly remember you saying that Pat told Mac, the bartender, he was going to a cabin out on the North River.
Well, I did say that, Charlie. But, frankly, Pat was such a liar in those days that as soon as he said he was going to the North River, I headed straight for the South River. And sure enough, that's where I found him. And now, neighbors, here's a tune that seems to be getting quite a play all over the country these days. Here is Say the sun will never shine again, and say the rose that blooms will never bloom again. But come what may, I know I must have you again. My darling, say you're mine again. Say that spring will never come again, and say the chapel bells will never ring again. No matter what will be, I must be yours again. So, darling, say you're mine again. If I were to lose all the world and its treasures, who cares? Let it be as it may. As long as I have you beside me, I'll always be happy that way. Say I'll never see the rain again, and say I'll never hear a sweet refrain again, and say that I was wrong and I'm to blame again. But darling, say you're mine again. If I were to lose all the world and its treasures, who cares? Let it be as it may. As long as I have you beside me, I'll and say I'll never hear a sweet refrain again, and say that I was wrong and I'm to blame again. But darling, say you're mine again. Well, thank you, kind friends. Many, many thanks. I'm heading for the last roundup. Gonna saddle old Hank for the last time and ride. So long, old pal, it's time your tears were dry. I'm heading for the last roundup. Get along, little doggy, get along, get along, get along, little doggy, get along. Get along, little doggy, get along, get along, get along, little doggy, get along. I'm heading for the last roundup. To the faraway ranch of the boss in the sky. Boss in the sky. Where the strays are counted and branded, there go I'm heading for the last roundup. Roundup. Get along, little doggy. Get
Next week at this same time, Gene Autry and all the gang from Melody Ranch will be heard over these same stations. This is Charlie Lyon inviting you to be tuned our way. This is the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
Thank you.